Today we are going to look at factorization of quadratic expressions, and we are going to look at factorization when the coefficient of x squared is 1. But before we go to factorization, let's discuss the nature of quadratic expression. So a quadratic expression is of the form ax squared plus bx plus c. A, B, and C are constant. Now, A, we refer to A is referred to as coefficient of x squared. Okay. B is referred to as coefficient of x, and C is referred to as a constant. So it is important that you understand these terms. Now, earlier on in our lesson 1, we learned how to expand a quadratic expression. So we can say factorization is the reverse of expansion. So we learned how to expand in our lesson 1. So the factorization being the reverse of expansion, it means that if a quadratic expression is expanded, you factorize to bring back the factors that were expanded. So let's have a look at generally how we expanded quadratic expressions. So what we can expand here, we can say x plus 2 into bracket and x plus 3. We can expand that, and when we expand that, we will multiply to x multiplied by x, and that will give us x squared. Then x multiplied by 3, we get plus 3x, and then we are through with x. We take 2 multiplied by x, we get plus 2x, and we multiply 2 times 3, which we get, let's write 2 times 3. Now, in our expansion, then we are supposed to go ahead and put the right terms together. And of course, instead of 2 times 3, we said it is 6. But there's something that I want you to understand here so that you will be able to factorize. You note here we have number 2 and number 3. So note when we expand, we have 3x and 2x. We add, which add up to 5. Then we multiply 2. We are multiplying 2 times 3. So when you add 3 plus 2, you get 5. You note that. And when we multiply 3 multiplied by 2, we get 6. So we can go ahead now and put this is equals to x squared. 3 plus 2x is plus 5x, and 2 times 3 we get is equals to 6. So what is the reverse? If this is the expansion of this, how do we reverse this expanded expression back to the factor form? So you note that first of all, we need to get two numbers, 2 and 3, such that when you add them, you will get 5, and when you multiply them, you get 6. So that is very easy. So let's take another example. We expand another example, and this will be, we take x, let's say plus 2, and we have x plus 5. We expand that and see whether the same procedure follows. So we say this is x multiplied by x, that will give us x squared. X multiplied by 5, we say it is plus 5x, and x plus, this is, we are through with that, 2 multiplied by x, that will give us plus 2x, and this is 2 times 5, we write it as 2 times 5. So when we do that, you find that this is 5 plus 2, you get 7, and 2 times 5, you get 10. So we go ahead and say, so we say when you add 2 plus 5, you get 7. So we add 2 plus 5 is equals to 7. And that is what we have here. 2x plus 5x plus 2x is equals to 7. Then 2 multiplied by 5, you get 10. 2 multiplied by 5, you get 10. So this is equals to 10. So when you expand this, then you are able to get, this will give you x squared plus 7x plus 10. So you see now there is a relationship. So if we want to reverse the process, we can get two numbers such that when you add them, you get 7, and when you multiply them, you get 10. Let's do one more example, then we'll be able to factorize. So let us now factorize this expression, x minus 5 and x minus x plus 2. That is x plus 2 and then the bracket. So how do we expand this? We follow the same procedure. X multiplied by x, we get that will give us x squared. X multiplied by 2, that will give us plus 2x. X plus minus 5 times x, that will give us minus 5x, and minus 5 times that is, we got plus minus 5 multiplied by 2. So we note that here we have minus 5 and 3. You find that here it is minus 5 minus 2, 2x minus 5x is minus 3x. So we are supposed, so if you had 2 minus 2 plus minus 5, we can put it like that, is equals to minus 3. Then we find that minus, that is, let's say start with 2. 2 multiplied by minus 5, that is supposed to give, you can put a bracket here, that is supposed to give us minus 15. Now let us complete our expansion. So we say this is x squared. This is 2 minus 5x will give us minus 3x, and then we have minus 15. So you note again that if for us to reverse, we need to get two numbers such that when we add them, we get minus 3, and when you multiply them, you get minus 15. One final example before we go to factorization. We are going to factorize, let's say, x minus 2 and x minus 5. So when you expand that, you'll be able to get x multiplied by x, you give us x squared. X multiplied by minus 5, you get minus 5x. And x, that we are through with that. Minus 2 multiplied by x, you get minus 2x. And minus 2 multiplied by minus 2, you get plus, that is, you get plus minus 2 multiplied by minus 5, like that. So you note that minus 2 and minus 5, will give us minus 7. And here we have minus 5x minus 2x will give us minus 7. So it means, so you note minus 5 plus minus 2 is equals to minus 7. You note also that minus 5 multiplied by minus 2 will give us positive 15. So if we complete our process, this will give us, this will be x squared minus 5x minus 2x, that will give us minus 7x, and minus 2 multiplied by minus 10, that will give us positive 15. So you can see the process that we are going through, that if we want to reverse this, we can get two numbers that when you add them, you get minus 7, which is here. When you multiply them, you get the constant. Remember we said minus 7 is a coefficient of x. So let's now go ahead and see whether we will be able to reverse the expansion, that is to factorize a quadratic expression. So now that we have run the process of expansion and how we, we get the expanded expression, let's now go the reverse. So we are going to factorize. So let's take this, factorize the expansion. So let's take x squared plus 6x plus 8. So we are supposed now to factorize this, and we write it now in form of factors, that is like that, into brackets. So what we do, from what we have learned in expansion, we say that if the coefficient of x is obtained by getting two numbers, so we can say if we get two numbers, a plus b should give us the coefficient of x, which is 6. And we have learned that if you multiply these two numbers, a times b should give us the constant c. In this case, our c is 8. So it is upon us now to factorize and get these two numbers. So what we do is we get these two numbers, that is equals to 8. Sorry for that. Is equals to 8. So let's try. Let's factorize 8. We can use this method. We say 8. So if we multiply, if we divide by 2, we get 4. We can try with that. When you add 2 plus 4, you get 6. When you multiply 2 times 4, you get 8. So it satisfies our condition here. So we will say here we get our x. That is our x. So our expression would be, we write x squared. Then instead of now 6, we say it is plus 2x plus 4x. That when you add 2 times 2 plus 4, you give us 6. So we still have our expansion. Then we have plus, we write 2 multiplied by 4, which we can as well write as multiply by, that is, we get 8, the same as 8. So the next step is we factorize what is common. Here we have x squared and here we have 2x. So if we take x outside, here we will be left with 1x and here we will be left with 2. Okay? And then remember, if you multiply x multiplied by x, you get back to x squared. X multiplied by 2, you will still get up to our 2x. So we have not changed our expression. Then we say plus. What is common in these two? 4 is common. So if we factor out 4 here, we will be left with x. If we factor out 4 here, we will be left with 2. So we have 4 into bracket. This is x, and x, this is here we factor out, we have 2, which is equals to, now this is common here, so we can take it out and we write it as x plus 2. Here, when you factor out this, we say we will be left with x plus 4. So these are the factors. These are the factors of our quadratic expression, and that is how you factorize. I hope you have followed. Let's do another example. We are now going to factorize. So factorize. We have, let's take x squared, and then we have minus 5x plus 6. So now the process is very simple. So what we do is we can say we get two numbers, m plus n should be equals to minus 5, and m multiplied by n is equals to the constant 6. So these two numbers, if we take 6, we have the factors of 6 are 2 and 3. So if we have minus 2 and minus 3, if you add minus 2, that is minus 2 plus minus 3, that is going to give us minus 5. Minus 2 multiplied by minus 3, that is going to give us 6. So it means minus 2 and minus 3 satisfy the condition that we want. So we now rewrite or modify our equation, not changing, modify. We write our expression x squared minus 3x minus 2x. You can either start with minus 2x or minus 3, no problem. And then we have plus 6. So note that we have not. So note that when you minus 3 minus 2x is the same as minus 5. So we have not changed our expression. Now from this point, now we factor what is common here. X is common. So we have x, we into bracket, x is, we are left with x minus 3. Here we factor what is common, minus 2x and 6. If we factor out minus 2, here we will be left with x minus 3, because minus 2 times x will give us minus 2x, minus 2 times minus 3 will give us 6. And note that when you are factoring out, you set it in such a way that what is left in this side, inside the bracket, is the same, so that you are able to factorize next. So this is common, or rather, if we say let a is equals to x minus 3, so we can write our expression. This is just to help you understand how we are factoring out the x minus 3. It will be minus 2a. So this will be, a is common, so we know we can write it like x, a into bracket x minus 2. Now, because we had said that our x is x minus 3, we just replace our x minus 3, and it is multiplied by x minus 2. I hope that makes better. I hope that makes it better, and you understand, and easy to understand how we are factoring out that which is common in those, and these are the factors of our quadratic expression, x squared minus 5x plus 6. So that's how we will factorize. I hope it is becoming easier as we move along. This is another example, factorize. And we are going to factorize the expression x squared minus 14x plus 49. So the process is we get two numbers. A plus b should give us minus 14, and A multiplied by B should give us 49. So we can factorize 49 and say this is 7 and this is 7. So it is 7 times 7. So we can check. Now, because we have a minus 14 here, what about if we consider minus 7 and minus 7? So minus 7, that is 7, plus minus 7, that is going to give us minus 14. Then minus 7 multiplied by minus 7, that is going to give us positive 49. So that is what we are looking for in simple words. So we now rewrite our expression x squared minus 7x that is the same as minus 14 plus 49. We factor out what is common here, and we will be able to get x. We factor out 1x here and 1x here. We will be left with x into bracket x minus 7. Here, if we factor out minus 7, so that we will be left with x minus 7 to be able to factorize, this will give us x minus 7. And because now minus 7 and x minus 7 is common, it means that we can factor it out, x minus 7 into bracket, we have what we will be left with x minus 7. Because both factors are the same, we can combine this and say this is the same as x minus 7 into bracket squared. So it is the same. Just like we know that 2 times 2 is 4. We can be able also to combine factors. So that's how we factorize that. Another example, factorize. This time we are going to say this is x squared minus 4. Now you know this is a bit, it looks a bit different, but remember we ran the difference of two squares. So what we can say, this we can write it as x squared minus, instead of 4, we write it 2 squared, which is the same as 4. And we say, remember what we said about difference of two squares. We say that if we have a squared minus b squared, like that, it can be written, when you expand difference of two squares, it is the same as a plus b, and we have a minus b. So we apply that and we'll be able to say this is equals to, then it means this is equals to x plus 2, that is 2, and then we have x minus 2. So that is how you expand. So you apply apply difference of t squares. So I hope you remember that. Let's have a look at another example. So let us factorize this. So factorize. We have x squared plus 8x. This is x cubed. This is x squared plus 12x. So that is the expression that we want to expand. So you note here, it is x cubed. This is not, when we have x cubed, it is not a quadratic expression. A quadratic expression, the highest index should always be 2. That is ax squared plus bx plus c. So this is index is always, the highest is supposed to be 2. Or is always 2. So what we do is we can divide throughout by x, divide by x, divide by x. So when you divide that by x, here we have 3x, so one of them will go and we will be left with x squared. Here we have x times x, that is x squared. So we cancel 1, or we divide 1 with the x in the denominator, we will be left with 8x. And here we have x, and x will disappear, and we have plus 12. Now, when you have that, now this is a quadratic expression. To factorize, we get two numbers such that when you add them, you get 8, and when you multiply them, you get 12. So we can take the numbers 2 and 6. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 plus 6 is 8. So we write our expression x squared plus 2x plus 6x plus 12. This means we factor out what is common here. Here it is x, so we factor out x, we will be left with x. X will plus 2. Here we factor out 6 is common, so we have positive 6, and we will be left with x minus 2. And therefore, when we factor out this, we have x plus 2, and we have x plus 6. So that's how you factorize that. So I hope it is becoming easier and easier. Finally, I'm going to factorize the last one, since I hope now with all those examples and explanation, you are good in that. So we are going to factorize this expression, x squared minus 5x minus 6. So this is so what we have said is we get two numbers, a plus b should give you minus 5, and a multiplied by b should give you minus 6. What are these two numbers? We can say if we have 6 minus 6 and 1, so let's say if we multiply minus 6 multiplied by 1, that is the same as minus 6. Again, if we say minus 6 plus 1, that will give us minus 5. So it means the numbers that we need are minus 6 and 1. So we rewrite our expression here, and this will give us x squared. We can either say plus 1 plus x minus 6x, and then we have note that minus x plus minus 6x is the same as minus 5x, what we have there. So we have not changed minus 6. So here we factor out x, so we have x, we will be left 1x here, x plus 1. Here when you factor x there, you remain with 1. Here we factor out minus 6, so we'll be left with x here and plus 1, because when minus x times 1 is minus 6. So this we will be able to write that x plus 1 is common, x plus 1, so we factor it out, and we'll be left with x minus 6. And note that when you expand this, then you should be when you expand this the way we did, then you go back there. That is why I said that expansion is a reverse, and factorization is a reverse of expansion, and that is how you do that. So that is how we factorize, and I hope you have followed. Let me see whether I'll be able to get a question done in an exam, that is a KCSE, and see how we can be able to apply this knowledge in a question in an exam. So I have one example from the KCSE papers, and we are told factorize. We have a squared minus 15ab plus 36b squared. Okay, there are several examples, but we will do more when we do the second part of this lesson, that is when the coefficient of x squared is not equals to 1. But for now, let's just do this, and this was awarded 2 marks. So to factorize this, what we do is, because we have two variables, a and b, we consider one of them as a constant. So we say b is a constant. So we are supposed to look two numbers such that when you get a plus b should give us minus 15b. And when you multiply them, a times b is equals to 36 b squared. So these two numbers, if you look at 36, we can say that 2 times 18, that will not give us those two numbers. What about 12 times 3 is 36. So if we take minus 12b, so we say minus 12b minus 3b is equals to minus 15b. Then we have minus 12b, you multiply by minus 3b, that will give us that the 6b squared. So these are the terms that we need to rewrite our expression. So we say this is a squared. Instead of 15, now we write minus 12ab minus 3ab, that will add up to minus 15ab plus that the 6b squared. And just like we have done with the other part, we factor out what is common here. So we can say a is common. So we will be left with a plus minus 12b. Once you remove one of the a, then here we can factor out minus 3b. We will be left with a minus 12b. When you open the bracket, you still get back to this expression, this one. So once you do that, then we say minus, not minus, but a minus 12, b is common, so you factor it out, and they will be left with a minus 3b. So that is how we factorize this, and by doing that, then you have earned yourself 2 marks. So that brings us to the end of our lesson. I hope you have followed how to factorize when the coefficient of x is equals to 1. I'm going to give you a few questions for you to try, and you can send them back to me to check whether you have understood through the WhatsApp number or email that I'm going to give at the end of the lesson. So thank you so much for attending the lesson or watching the lesson. So you can try these questions exercise. The first question you can factorize 1, that is, let me write there, factorize. That is x squared, number 1, x squared plus 2x plus 1, that is number 2. You can try this. Then we have x squared minus 10x plus 24. You can also try that. Number 3, you can factorize x squared minus 2x plus 1. That's another one. So in number 4, you can factorize 2x squared minus 32. Number 5, you can factorize x squared plus 3x minus 54. Number 6, you can factorize number 6, we have x squared plus 2x, then we have plus mx, and then plus plus 2m. So you can try that. Number 7, you have 3x squared, and we have 3x squared plus minus 15x plus 18. So you can try those questions. Once you do them, you can submit them, and I check whether you got them right through the email or the WhatsApp number that is I'll provide at the end of this lesson. So let's meet in our next lesson, where we will be looking of how to factorize when the coefficient of x squared is not equals to 1. So thank you and welcome for more lessons.